and design the thing to create an experience for people. So yeah, I've got that. Design the game is about having ideas and solving problems so your players will have the experience you want them to. So the people who made a game like Assassin's Creed, which I think you most of you know, said, hey, I really want to make a game that lets people be an assassin. And that was the starting point. And then everything after that just went back to that one point. Does this part of the game make you feel like an assassin? No. Then we get rid of it. Does this? Yes. Then it's going in the game. So, as you guys are going to have to be designing the game, I thought I'd talk about that and what sort of my process is like. So we'll start at the beginning. Where do you start? So the first thing that I like to do, and I think this is especially important for you guys, is to think about your audience. Who is going to play your game? You guys have a very, very specific audience. You were going to say something?
No, I was just going to say.
Okay. Yeah. So you know who you're making a game for, which is great. A lot of people kind of have a vague idea because someone who's making something like Call of Duty kind of has an idea of they're making a game for people from this age to this age, and they kind of like guns and they kind of like war, and that's kind of their audience. And you guys have a very, very specific audience, and that's really useful in a way, but it's also quite hard because you guys probably have the toughest audience I've been thinking. So that's the first thing you have to think about. Who is going to play our game? The next thing you have to think about is, what are we trying to do with our game? Again, you guys know what that is, right? Which is you're trying to help your audience with learning. So that's what I would call a design goal. In designing a game, what's your goal for your game? And when you've done that, and only when you've done that, should you actually start thinking about what kind of game could do those things. So, game mechanics. A mechanic is, let's see, what did I write in my notes for this? Yeah. A mechanic is just kind of like a fancy word for what you actually do in the game. All right, so this is Tetris. Have any of you guys ever played Tetris? You know about Tetris?
I remember.
I'm sorry. I'll tell you what it is. Tetris is actually a really important game. I think Tetris was probably one of the first games where people realized, actually, these things can have a real effect on people. Because you have people playing endlessly and endlessly and endlessly, and you get all this stuff about people being addicted to video games and all that stuff, which is questionable. But anyway, in Tetris, there is a game mechanic, which is that blocks fall from the top of the screen. So all these blocks have fallen from the top. And what the player is trying to do is form a line out of blocks. So if there was one more block there, that line would disappear. And all you're trying to do is stop those blocks from reaching the top. So blocks fall down from the top of the screen, they form a line, that line disappears. That's a mechanic. That's almost like a nugget of something that you do in a game. And Tetris kind of only has one mechanic, but most games, especially modern games, have hundreds. Like every little thing you can call a mechanic. So there's a few more examples. Mario, you guys know Mario? So this was one of the first Mario games ever made, Super Mario Brothers. And what do you do in Mario? Just shout it out. Okay.
Jump on top of things, jump under things, collect stuff, and jump on stuff.
All right, so pretty much everything you've mentioned there can be classified as a mechanic. Running is a mechanic. Jumping is a mechanic. Jumping on top of an enemy to kill it, that's a mechanic. All these little bits and pieces get combined to make a full game. And although there are hundreds of games about jumping on top of things, there's only one Mario, and only Mario does it quite like they does it.